Hello.
Hello, sir. How we doing?
Doing good.
All right, I'll take it.
Last week in studio here.
Last week, and then we're off. We're off to the big windy city. What's Denver called?
Mile High.
Mile High Windy City. Next week.
I think Windy City's Chicago now.
I'm sure Denver is windy. When are you getting in?
Saturday night.
Saturday night. I thought I was Johnny on the spot. It was Sunday night.
Yeah, Sunday night. That's late.
What do you mean that's late? The thing
It's
doesn't
late.
start till Tuesday. So
Yeah, I don't know. All my employees end up getting flights that come in at like 9 a.m. Sunday. So then I was like, and I couldn't get one that didn't. I could only get one that came in like 8 o'clock Sunday night. So I was like, since everybody's gonna be there, I'll just come in Saturday night, and then I'll be there Sunday morning, hang out, get some team time.
yeah, I think it looks like I arrive at 7 o'clock on Sunday night. It's not bad. Come on, there's
Not
nothing to do.
late.
There's nothing to do until 2 o'clock
Till the party?
next day. Yeah, no, till golf. I gotta go golf, man.
Golf.
It's gonna be so
far,
embarrassing.
nobody golfs. Who's going? I don't understand. I still don't get what they're gonna do.
I know. It's just gonna be all of us watching Eric Barnes and clapping and drinking Arnold Palmer's or something.
That's all right.
It'll
You'll
be
have fun.
I'll have fun. It'll be great.
I've been playing tons of golf.
What?
Tons. My 14-year-old, he's super into it. And my uncle, who was sick there, we talked about this, I think, last week.
Oh,
he's
yeah,
been
the
going
guy that came back from the dead.
back from the dead. So I've gone like 3 times. I played like 3 days in a row. I've been going at night. All weekend I played.
I got to get on this Barnes Landsman lifestyle. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
I gotta
Jeffrey
catch up to
Way's talking
Barnes.
about video games. You're playing golf. Like, what's going on over
I
here?
know.
Where's my free time?
It's kind of funny. I feel like I needed 10 years off, you just need like a 10-year break. And now I'm like, I don't know if it's the break, but it's also like, I think my son going, like, it's like
That's
nice
huge.
doing the father-son thing with it. So that's fun.
There's no way I could justify it to myself or to Jennifer, frankly, of playing golf solo right now. No way. Not a chance.
You
but,
guys are in a
if my kids get older and want to play golf, I can imagine that's just like a fantastic way to spend time. What else are you going to do? You're going to walk and talk. There's nothing else to do.
It just gives you something to do while you're walking and talking.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So
that
it
is
nice
the point.
for that.
That's the point of coffee. That's the point of cigars. That's the point of a lot of things, is to have something to do as a foil or as like a cover for hanging out. That's it.
This is like everybody I know who stopped smoking. This is like the number one thing. It's like, because smoking used to be like probably still when you were a kid. Definitely when I was a kid, it was like people were congregating, smoking.
Mm-hmm.
Even when I was in my 20s, people are like drinking and smoking. Like this was all a thing, right? Now nobody smokes. So like
Nobody
you don't have that
smokes
like,
anymore.
Hey, can I borrow a cigarette? Like all that stuff.
We're all just taking our nicotine pouches in private and just getting back to work, man. There's no more social aspect of smoking. I know.
We need the social smoking.
Should we bring smoking back? Should that be one of our things? Yeah.
Maybe at the party, everybody gets a pack.
Everybody gets a pack. If you don't smoke, we'll make fun of you.
No, then you start.
Yeah, this is perfect.
It's great.
This is good peer pressure. I like this. The last time I suggested on the podcast that I should get into nicotine, Mary Perry messaged me and said, don't get into nicotine. Somebody's looking out for me at least.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. The golf is good. It is nice to be outdoors. It's nice out. It does give you a reason to be outside, which I also enjoy when it's, it's not nice here that often. It's not Dallas. So you got to be outside when it's nice out and get the rays and all that, because before you know it, it's gonna be cold and miserable again. So that part's good. What'd you do this weekend? Manage kids?
This weekend was a little better.
Good.
We've had a run of pretty tough weekends.
Yes.
This one was better. First of all, we didn't go to the rodeo this weekend. Last weekend we went to the rodeo. I don't know if I said that, but we kept the kids out late.
Oh,
I think that was a big. That's so dumb. It's like it's our first time or something. The kids are normally the big kids. Actually, all the kids are normally in bed by 7, which is like, oh, thank goodness. And they stay up and talk because there's 2 of them in each room. They stay up and chatter for an hour or so, but it's fine. They're like winding down. When we went to the rodeo, we kept them out till like 9:30,
right?
And the next day they were wasted. It was so bad. So this weekend we didn't do anything. Yeah. We didn't make any fatal mistakes like that. And it was good. And I took the big kids to Home Depot with me. I had to run an errand, and I was like, hey, we're going to do this. We're going to all go. And so me and the big kids went to Home Depot and got some stuff. And then we went and got ice cream after. It's like, you know what? Let's go get some ice cream. It's Sunday afternoon. We went to the hardware store. Let's go to get some ice cream. And it was great. So a much better weekend. I don't feel totally gassed today. Just a little bit gassed.
Just the one. It brings you back. It's like, I feel like this happens a lot with the kids. It's like you get pushed right to the edge where you're like, I just don't know if I could take anymore. And then you have some nice interactions. They actually sleep a couple nights. You're like, okay, this is all right. We're okay.
Yep.
I can go another couple weeks.
Good weekend. Had a nice, both productive and drama-free weekend.
I can't let this go by though, because I think people wouldn't necessarily believe you're a Texan. Like if you're just go on the surface, it's like there's not a lot about Aaron Francis that's like Texan to me, right? Like, but you went to the rodeo.
Went to the rodeo. So
just because?
Just because there's a city nearby called Mesquite that's a little more rural. And I think they do a rodeo relatively often. We go with my wife's side of the family once a year, and it's a big it's her parents and then Jennifer's one of 4 girls, 3 of whom live in Dallas. And so, between those 3 sisters, there are 10 kids. We have 4, another one has 4, another one has 2. So there are 10 kids,
that's
all
a lot of kids.
I think they're all under 10. And so once a year we go to the rodeo. And the kids just freaking love it. And it's like, it's very American. It feels very small town America. We're standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, but we're also doing a big prayer. We're praying for the first responders for some reason. And it's like,
interesting.
Great. Okay. Yeah. Let's pray for the animals and the cowboys and the first responders, everybody. And it's very, it's very red-blooded America. And it was fun. The kids liked most that they drove a tractor out there to smooth it out. It's like a dirt Zamboni. And the horses were cool. The cowboys were cool. But when the tractor came out, oh man. And there's this one part of the show where the kids get to come down into the arena and they let a sheep loose with a flag on its tail. And like 200 kids are running around trying to grab this sheep's tail. And poor animal.
I was gonna say the sheep.
my kids were like, oh sure, I'll go down there. They're both 4. I'll go down there. 5 seconds inside the arena, they were like, I want to get out. And so they didn't. They're a little young. There are lots of 12, 13-year-olds and they're running
people
around in the
taking
dirt.
it serious.
They're like, I don't think I want to do this. So
that's funny.
But it was fun. They love it. They love the rodeo. I don't have cowboy boots. I don't have a cowboy hat. I'm not gonna wear a costume. I'm not gonna buy a costume and wear it. And so, I don't know. It's fun. I wore my blue jeans, but I still, wore Nikes and a collared shirt. So I don't know. It's fine.
Okay, so it wasn't like it's an annual outing, which is a little different. You weren't just like, hey.
Yes.
What about we go to the rodeo tonight?
No.
Let's just do something.
No.
Okay.
No.
So it's a little more planned. We do a similar thing. We do the Northeast version of that. We don't do it. Well, it just doesn't work out every year, but we are trying to do it again this year, which is we go to Saratoga. I don't know if you're familiar with Saratoga, but it's a small town, a couple hours north of here, pretty famous, has a famous horse track.
Is this Saratoga Springs? Is that real?
Yeah, Saratoga Springs.
Okay, there you go.
Saratoga Raceway is the track. So we go. There's like the foofy little town of Saratoga. There's, the racetrack. So go, put some bets on the ponies and kind of hang out. My family used to have a burger stand type of thing at the harness track. So there's like the thoroughbred track and there's a harness track. Like when I was 2 type of thing.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. So my daughter's into horses, blah, 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 blah. So not really. I mean, this is kind of a whole different horse world, the thoroughbred racing.
Yeah.
The equestrian horse people don't actually like the thoroughbred horse people because thoroughbred horse people, I mean, the horses aren't even really, they're like still children, a thoroughbred horse when it's racing. So it's kind of like bad for the horse, blah, blah. The equestrian horses, you don't even usually start riding them till they're like 8 or 9. Thoroughbreds obviously running it. I don't know, probably 1, definitely by 2, and 3 is the big races. So
meanwhile, down here, they are literally jumping off of the horses onto I guess steers or something, some kind of small cow. They jump off the horse onto the small cow and try to turn it over and tie up his feet.
Right.
It's like, this can't, you watching these animals like get flipped over by the head, and you're like,
probably not good.
This can't be good.
Right. And I'm sure occasionally a horse gets, speared or whatever, or whatnot. I don't know. I wonder what the age is. So that's Western. So Western's its own thing, obviously. And we don't know too much about the Western. There is some Western. You can do Western around here, but it's not our circles. I don't know anything about the Western.
Don't do that up there. That's my culture. It's not a costume to
we gotta get you a cowboy
Western.
Hat.
I know.
Yeah. It's on my list. Gotta make that happen.
Every year at our guys' retreat, we talk about how I need to get a cowboy hat, because all these guys all have cowboy hats. I'm like, man, that looks cool. I should get one. They're like, you should get one. And then a year goes by and we come back and it's like, I should get one. So
all right. Well, I have a couple follow-ups. Can I do a couple quick follow-ups?
I love a follow-up. How are you keeping track of these?
In this freaking ridiculous Trello board.
Like an idiot.
There's one thing on here. I don't know if I put it on here. You put it on here. I don't even remember it. So I was like, maybe Aaron put it on, but then I'm not sure.
We're going to find out.
Someday somebody's going to build a tool to fix all this. But
someday somebody's going to finish a tool to fix all this.
We don't even really have to talk about these, but I thought it was interesting. Stephen Reese Carter, who's like the Laravel security guru guy, he did write in to say that he likes the idea for outro of having the gates. We talked about having the gates in kind of all the methods, even though it might not technically need it right now. He likes the idea of putting the gates there.
And for non-Laravel users, that's like permission checks.
Yeah, putting these permission checks in so that they're already there. It's like a duplicate check, but it's not the end of the world. And this way, when you inevitably have to add more permissions or more granular permissions, then it's all set up. So that's got the approval from the guru.
I like that. I like the idea of putting those checks in everywhere and just having your policy. I think that's what it's called. Your policy just return true for all of those. Right. And then later, if you want to add some, logic in there, that's fine. The hook is already in.
It's actually even doing a little more than that already. What it does now is it does run the query to see if you are a crew member, so you're a host or a producer. So it's basically just doing that check that's always going to pass, because you can't even get to these screens unless you're one of those things. So it's I guess I could even have it be true, but I don't know. It's doing it that way, which is fine. The AI just replicating it every time it needs it, so it's good. And
did he give you any reasoning? Just that it's easier to do it now without forgetting?
Yeah, I think it's so that you don't forget to do it later, and then this way, when you do adjust it, it's like everything's there and all that stuff. So I think it was mostly about that. The other thing was the little business thing. In the big, beautiful, whatever bill thing, they fixed the Section 174, which long-time listeners to the show know we talked about, especially back at the beginning of the show a lot. And so there's one main thing I want to talk about this, which is that I'll give a very quick summary of what it was, where basically you could not write off your expenses of software developers in the year you incurred them. You had to amortize them over 6 years, or if they're not in the US, over 15 years.
Dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life, by the way.
Insane. So and a lot of people were surprised by this, because all the professionals thought it was going to get fixed, but it never got fixed, and then it went into effect. And so everybody had huge tax bills in like 2021, hundreds of thousands of dollars more than you expected. And if you were profitable, it's bad but not deadly.
Yeah, but
if you have the worst case scenario is you actually have a lot of revenue, but you are not profitable.
Yes.
A lot being like, but you're still like a person or two, right? So if you have like a $5 million a year software business, but you only make $100,000 a year in profit, you could have like an $800,000 tax bill that you didn't expect, and you don't have a good way to get $800,000 quickly. So that was bad.
This is insane. And I saw a lot of, when it first came out years ago, I saw a lot of people on Hacker News betraying the fact they understood 0% of accounting. And so here's the situation. Let's say you make $1 million in top line, and then you pay $1 million in salaries. How much money did the company make? Bottom line, $0. You have no profit, right? You made $1 million and you paid $1 million in salaries. You have $0 profit. So this is not some loophole. This is not some rich get richer thing. Here's what happens with this Section 174 that has now been fixed. You had $0 profit, but the IRS comes and says, "Ooh, that $1 million you paid your engineers, you have to spread that $1 million out over, what was it, 5 years, 6?
5, yeah, it depends.
Domestic,
but 6 years basically for me.
So instead of $1 million minus $1 million equals 0, we're going to do $1 million minus 200,000. That's the portion you're allowed to deduct this year. So you, according to the IRS, made $800,000 profit that you then get to pay whatever 30% tax on. And you look at your bank account and it says zero because you made $0 profit.
Right.
And so now you have this giant tax bill when you made no profit whatsoever. And it makes literally no sense. And Hacker News was like, wow, this is just closing a loophole. And you're like, no, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. So that's why it's so bad.
It's so one of these things that it's very fascinating to me, and it's like totally applicable to like our political times in general in a lot of ways, because it's like everybody thinks they know a lot about everything right now, right? And so, but really you barely even know the surface, because like with something like this, like, oh, you just think, well, this company makes $1 million a year, that's a lot of money, right? But there's so many levels. First of all, it's like accrual accounting businesses and cash accounting businesses. And most of these businesses this impacts worst are like cash accounting businesses. So then when they actually have $1 million in revenue and $1 million in expenses, that's like a legit million. That means cash flow. It's not just profits are zero. It's that your cash flow is zero. Like you have no money, literally no money at all. And so, so there's all those levels to it. Yeah. And you need to come up with then $300,000 in your example or whatever it is, right? And so it was wild. It was a little tight there for a while, for myself included, but made it through. Fixed it. They fixed it in a pretty good way too, so that was nice. There was a little element.
So
to
what
that,
do they do? So now that you, let's say you deducted a fifth, so you have 3/5 of this salary remaining to deduct. What's the fix? Do you get immediate, like accelerated deduction for the last 3 out of 5 years?
So here's the thing. This is kind of the main reason I wanted to talk about this, because there are some subtleties here, but basically they let you have the option. If you have under $30 million in revenue, which I'm sure most people listening to this do, you have two options. And so one is you can just wait, and on this year's tax return, you can take it either all this year or over the next 2 years, I believe. So you can
this
bring
is the unamortized part you're talking about.
Yes, like all your unamortized from the previous 3 years, and then as well as obviously your current year will now be fully expensable. So you can do it that way.
We're gonna get to go into the loss territory. We like
that. With a little refund there status. At the better way potentially, which is going to be the better way for me, is you can refile all the previous 3 years of taxes. And the refiling is beneficial, potentially more beneficial, because even though you're gonna have to pay to refile, so like the accountant said, it's gonna be like 7 to 10 grand. So so that's a lot of money there, but some of that's write-offable, so that's a little less than that because it's the
tax
business.
prep fees are deductible.
Yep. So, but the thing is, it could lower your tax bracket. So then, if it lowers your tax bracket on the previous years, well, now you're saving 4% on all your income.
You're getting a double dip there.
Yes. So it's like an extra 30 grand or something for me, where we're going to pay the accountant 10 or 7 or whatever, but it's still 20 grand more than the other way. And then also they're going to pay, he doesn't even know what the interest will be. He's not sure what the calculation of the interest will be, but they pay you interest on the part that you're getting back. So it'll be a bonus interest there. But anyway, so he's going to do that, the accountant, and at some point he said he thinks it'll take months and months to actually, them to process we haven't even sent it in yet, of course, all that stuff. But yeah, so that's pretty cool.
That's great.
It's nice to survive. We survived long enough to get the refund. So you get the refund, which again, we weren't like that. Our particular case, we weren't like super close to, we weren't going to go out of business, but still very much tighter cash flow wise, because when you just spend a lot of money thinking that you can expense it and then you can't expense it, it's very hard.
Hard to pay 100% salaries and be allowed to take 20% of that against your revenue. That's kind of a hard way to run a business.
Most small businesses aren't structured to allow for that. So that's good. National developers still amortize over 15 years. So that's pretty interesting. I don't know how that's going to impact the market. I mean, it's a little tricky. Like if you're a consultancy, it doesn't matter because you don't get to, the expensing works a little different, I think, but because you're not doing it's not R&D in those cases.
Right,
so
you're providing services.
But if you're a product company, definitely, which I mean, I still think it's dumb and kind of un-American, to be honest with you, but I can at least see the reasoning behind it. It's like, okay, like we're going to, it's kind of a weird way to do it, I guess. I prefer they did it. And if you were trying to spur U.S. software development as opposed to hiring foreign software developers. I guess I'd probably go about it a little differently. This is like a weird sort of backdoor way to do it.
I agree.
Yeah. And also you're going to make it, obviously we're making it harder for to immigrate people. And then, so you can't hire them overseas and you can't immigrate people. So I don't know. I think it's going to have potentially the opposite effect of what they presumably want, which is like, are you going to AI more stuff or whatever? Like you're even if that you're potentially restricting the growth of the American software industry. Like if I have a software company that just needs more people and I can't get them, then that's potentially limiting my size. And software is one of the best things America makes. Like everybody says we don't manufacture anything. We manufacture a shit ton of software and we're the leaders in all the operating systems, all the stuff. There's America is the leader in the software industry in practically every category. So I don't know.
I agree.
Weird.
I agree. That's real dying empire stuff. We gotta just win. We just gotta just win on merits. Like let's let us do whatever we want. We're gonna win. Yeah.
This was our whole thing. This is to me this is the thing, right? It's like other countries, Europe, all these places, right? They're trying to micro control everything.
Trying to regulate into winning. No way.
Right. Yes. The American way is go out there, hire the people you need, bring them in, hire them wherever, like grow. That's what we're doing here, I thought. But
15 years is also 1,000 years when it comes to deducting expenses.
Time.
1,000 years. If they that money, the time value of money, 15 years from now, it's going to be worthless. Crazy. That's going to be worthless. It's not even going to be worth filing the taxes.
A significant portion of your whole life. Like this is like, I mean, it's crazy. Yeah. So I don't know. It's a very odd decision.
Well, I'm glad they fixed the first part. That's good.
Yeah. So the part that directly impacts me is good. So. Okay, so that was my follow-up. I have a thing on here called YouTube Guy. I don't know if I wrote that or you wrote that.
I think you wrote that, and I think we did that last week. I think we talked about Ryan Trahan last week.
Did we? Was that just left on there? All right.
I think it was.
All right. I don't think we talked about him last week, did we? Maybe we did. All right. Yeah, we'll mark it done. Who cares? All right, we're moving on. What's up next here?
All right, we can do the next one that has not been marked, or we can do the one after that.
We should first do some ads.
Let's pay some bills.
Pay the bills.
This episode is brought to you by Flare by Spotsy. We love Spotsy. All-in-one error tracking and performance monitoring for your Laravel application. You can find Flare at flareapp.io. And if you want specifically to go to the performance monitoring part, you can go to flareapp.io/performance-monitoring. Spotsy, whom you know and love from making 1 million packages, has Flare, the SaaS app. Also brought to you by Forward MX, an email forwarding service great for side projects. Collect all of your emails from different domains in a central inbox like your Gmail and reply from your domains using Forward MX's SMTP functionality. ForwardMX.net. You know who would be great for Forward MX? Josh Pigford, because he spins up a new project every other day and he's got to have emails for him. So I wonder what he's using to collect them all. Hey, Josh, check out ForwardMX at forwardmx.net.
I feel like it would be potentially worthwhile for ForwardMX to like advertise directly to him specifically. Like, like they need to get him as a customer, right?
It's like how Candy Crush has the whales. Josh Pigford is the whale. If you can land Josh Pigford for an email service, you're gonna be rich.
Yes, exactly.
The other play is for them to reach out to Josh and give it to him for free so that he talks about it all the time.
Yes, that's actually probably the actual play. Yes,
probably.
Well, I really like that. He becomes the face of Forward MX.
He does, yeah. I like that.
That's a good plan. Forward MX guys, steal that one. That's a good one.
You're welcome. That one was for free. All right. What do you want to do? Do you want to do the next thing, which could be kind of long? You want to do the one below that?
Yeah, let's do the one below.
All right. Yeah. We're gonna do a segment here called Dangerous Professionals.
Well, I don't know what this is. I'm excited.
I know. You're so excited. Are you familiar with Patrick McKenzie, Patio 11 on the internet?
Patio 11?
Yeah.
That's my
Throwback.
boy.
Yeah.
That's my boy.
That's your generation. Yeah.
Patio 11 taught me how to play poker. Literally at Microcom. Took me to play poker. I was like, you're going to like this. And taught me how to play at a poker table live together. We sat there. We learned how to play.
Oh my gosh. 11. This is great lore. Great lore. Yes, I met Patio 11 at MicroConf 2012, where I shared a room with a stranger from the internet named Josh Pigford. I was on the microconf boards before I went. Didn't know a single soul. Saw this guy.
You just do
He
things.
was like, "Hey, what if we roomed?" I looked him up. He seemed pretty normal. He seemed moderately normal, as we all are. Yeah. And looked him up, seemed like a good guy, and I was like, I hate this, but I'm gonna do it because I got to make friends. And it was Josh Pigford, and we were roommates, we were buds.
So funny how that happens. Yeah, no, Patio 11 I've known since the Joel on Software before HelpSpot existed, 20-something years.
The bingo card creator days.
Bingo card.
Patio 11 has this concept of a dangerous professional, right?
Okay.
The dangerous professional, it expresses itself in many forms. One form it can express itself is over email, okay? So the concept of a dangerous professional is when you are dealing with maybe some intractable customer support or somebody, a manager that like is not being responsive, something like that. Yep. You can turn on this tone that indicates you are a dangerous professional. Yes. Not that you're obstinate, not that you're a difficult customer, but you are someone that you're not to be trifled with, right? You don't mess with this person.
You have knowledge.
And it's saying stuff, on the phone like, could you please put this in writing to my email to make sure that we have this on record? Something like that, where it's like, oh shoot, like this is not our average Tom, Dick, or Harry. So here's the situation. One of my children requires a medical device, and we got this device through this therapy company. And so our relationship is with the therapy company, and the therapy company has a relationship with this third-party provider that provided the device, right? It came time to like decide, do we keep this device or do we just buy our own? It's an iPad. It's a medical, it's an iPad. Yeah. And we're like, you know what? We're gonna buy our own. We'll get the app. We'll do the whole thing ourselves. I'm not gonna pay $1,000 to this medical device company to keep their old iPad. Like I don't need it. And the medical device company started contacting us directly, saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, it's too late. You owe us $1,000." And I'm like, okay, first of all, I don't know who you are. Like, I don't have a relationship with you. If you have a bone to pick, go to the therapy company. This is not my problem. Right. And they just kept, and Jennifer's handling most of this. They just kept haranguing her, like, sorry, oh, you should have known, like, oh yeah, it's a 30-day thing, and now I don't know, our hands are tied. It's too late. And I told Jennifer, all right, forward me the emails. Right. Send me the emails. I'll get on this. So she sent me the emails, and I wrote a response, and then I took it to chat. I took it to Chat GPT, and I said, are you familiar with Patrick McKenzie's Dangerous Professional email style? Yeah. Yes, I am. Great. Here is an email that I would like you to write in Dangerous Professional. And it said, great. And so I will read to you the email that I sent, and who I sent it to. Sent it to is actually, that's another thing that we have to go over. Let's see. This email was sent to, you're going to love this. Okay. So they've been giving us the runaround. Sent an email with a subject called documentation request. Okay. Which is already like, right. Who's requesting documents? Right. That doesn't sound good. Very scary. Yeah. Yes. Hi, comma. Oh, hey. No, hi there. Hi, comma. I left a message earlier today regarding a device we're attempting to return. My name is Aaron Francis. My wife, Jennifer, has been in contact with you previously. Despite multiple attempts, we've yet to receive complete or actionable information regarding the return of a device we received through this named therapy company. That needs to be resolved. At this time, I'm requesting a full copy of any signed documentation you have on file for our family. Please confirm receipt and send the requested documents at your earliest convenience. Regards, Aaron Francis. That's pretty good, right?
Oh, I like it.
It's so pretty good. So,
and this was an email, or
this was an email.
Okay.
Yeah. So I had left a voicemail. They didn't return. So then I wrote this email. The email I had was for a customer support person. It has a certain pattern of first initial, last name, and I'm like, LinkedIn exists. I wonder if I could find anyone else that works at this company. So I go on LinkedIn. I look it up. I find the VP of customer support. And I also find the CEO of the company.
There you go.
That's interesting.
They don't want to deal with this stuff.
They don't want to deal with this. So I copied them on the email. And not 24 hours later, I get an email back from the CEO herself.
Oh,
I get an
wow.
email back from the CEO that says, sorry for the confusion. Mandy is processing a return label so you can return your device. Once we have the device, we'll work with insurance to let them know that this code is available for you to consider alternative devices. Thanks again, Jen. So
Woohoo!
I wrote a dangerous email that told them, don't F with me. And I sent it to the CEO and got it fixed. Got it all resolved. Exactly
amazing.
the outcome I wanted for. Didn't have to be mean. Just had to show them that I'm competent and you do not trifle with me and my family. So yeah, we got it all resolved.
People are out there right now saying AI is useless, and it's so not useless.
It's so not useless. It's so
good.
not useless. So if you have something you want and you feel like you're being wronged, go to ChatGPT and ask for the Patrick McKenzie dangerous professional email. It's not mean. It's not aggressive.
Yes.
It's matter of fact, and it's stating the case in a very almost like a shibboleth. Like, these are the words that I am saying, and you understand that this is a big deal.
And yeah, it's like you are advocating for your rights.
Yes.
You know what
I'm
I
not
mean?
trying to get something I'm not entitled to.
Right. I love this. It's great. It's like a whole interesting, from my perspective, this stuff is very fascinating. And it's like, there's like a tickle in my mind of a product or a thing here too, because it's like reverse customer service. It's like everybody's like AI is going to like make customer service irrelevant, and right. But there's also this whole other side of like most customer service sucks, and that's going to be true whether it's AI or human, right? And so how can you use the technology to get through the bad customer service to get the stuff you actually need, which is exactly
the customer
what you're doing.
service advocate. Yes. This is what we need.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. That's
interesting. Good, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But that's and it's like you could write that email yourself, but it's also going to take you way longer because it's not like your thing, right?
And I did, and it was like parts of it were too nice and parts of it were too mean.
Right.
And it was like I was kind of all over the place. I was trying to be firm, and it was like, oh, this is just, you're just being a jerk. And so this helped me pull it back and put it in terms that a business person would use to talk to another business person.
The emotionless machine in between was fantastic. Very useful.
One of my great strengths is my many emotions. So putting a machine in between us is actually quite useful.
Oh man. So I guess we'll have to see if this actually happens, but presumably it will when the CEO responds.
We got the label.
Oh, you did get it already?
We got the return. Yes. She copied somebody else and said Mandy is working on the label right now. And 20 minutes later, I got an email from Mandy with a UPS label. It's done.
So we are good.
It is finished. Yes. And of course, my response was, thank you so much. I understand this happens. I really appreciate it. Like, great. You did your job. I'm so happy. I appreciate sometimes things happen under the CEO that they don't know about.
There's a whole fascinating aspect to all this stuff too, to me, which is like the different sort of motivations and all that, because incentives. Because it's like, on the one hand, it's like, why I hate when people run their businesses this way of like telling the frontline people to just like never accept the return, try to squeeze out every random nickel you can, right? If you can screw somebody over. It's like, I always wonder like how you even have this training sessions where you're like, all right, like we're going to try to eke out every nickel here, even if it's skeezy, even if we're pushing the limits, even if it's like a gray area, like we want you to push into those gray areas, right? Like, but then it's sort of interesting on the flip side of like, well, this is the kind of company that's dependent on another company for referrals. And so then the incentives of that are that like, they don't really care about their relationship with you at all. Because you're never going to go to them directly. So there is no relationship effectively. And so then it's like their feedback mechanism has to be like, you complain to who referred you, and that referral somehow gets back to them, which that's usually a big org that's good, so can get lost in that ether, right? So like there's all that stuff that's fascinating.
The therapy company told Jennifer they are severing their relationship with this device company.
Look at that.
She said this is the second time this has happened, and we're just not going to use them anymore. And I was like, you know what?
There you go.
I feel pretty awesome about that. I feel like I did that.
Wow. So, okay. So that even came back through. Look at that. Wow. And after only 2, that's actually quite surprising. Is this like a small org you're dealing with here, or it's a big thing?
The therapy company or the device provider?
The therapy company.
It's pretty small. I think it's probably 5 to 10 therapists. Yeah.
All right. So it's a little more they heard it a few times and they're like, that's enough for us.
This is one of the things, like, this is one of the things that can really put me into overdrive, is when I feel like justice has been denied, and like I'm willing to sacrifice it all to get justice restored. And so when I hear you're messing with my wife and one of my children in terms of like their therapy, it's over. It's so over. And my money
in there.
Yeah,
trying to steal $1,000 for some old device. That's
some old device that my parents had lying around, so they gave us one of their old devices. It's like, no, I have it now, and my parents gave it to me for free. So,
well, very nicely done.
Thank you. Thanks, Patio 11, for the support.
Patio 11 coming through again. He's so like big brained. He's like a humongous brain,
Humongous brain.
Yeah. He's almost difficult sometimes to have a conversation with because his brain is so gigantic. And you're like, oh man, like I'm on a different level. It's only one of the few people I've ever talked with. I'm like, I'm just on a different level. I understand in this relationship, I am on the lower level of brain capacity by a pretty wide margin here. And I'm barely keeping up with what you're doing.
You know what? I just came up with this. Patio 11 is the inverse Chamath Palihapitiya. Patio 11 is an unmitigated genius and never really showboats or talks about himself, or he's just a super humble, unmitigated genius. The inverse seems to be Chamath Palihapitiya. It seems like he got really lucky and now thinks he's a super genius.
Those are the worst.
So
we
do love Patio 11 for his humility.
They both play poker.
They do.
So there's a little common thread there. That's the only way I even know about that guy. I've seen him on poker streams. I've never heard a podcast with him, but he seems like that vibe. I buy it. All right. Well, that was a good one. I'm very happy with that. Go out there and build the Patio 11 robot people, and you can have your own Patio 11. See, this is should we be paying Patio 11? Should you have paid Patio 11 a penny?
I know, man.
It's like, he
doesn't need a penny. That's the whole thing. It's like, what if 1,000 people do this and he gets 1,000 pennies? Like, what's the point? It doesn't make sense. Makes no sense.
He's in that early Stripe money. He's good. He's all right. Early.
I mean, anyone at a level of fame where they're asking ChatGPT 1,000 times about you doesn't want $10 over the course of a year. I don't get it. It makes no sense.
Yeah. All right. Let's do some ads. All right. This week brought to you by our super friends at Laravel Nightwatch, which we're going to go see all those people next week. It's going to be very exciting. Laravel Nightwatch sees what other monitoring apps can't in Laravel apps. Take 2 minutes to set up the free plan right now before this episode of Mostly Technical is done. You might uncover rogue queries, mixed configured middleware hiding in plain sight, or the dreaded N+1. Check them out at nightwatch.laravel.com. And if you do set that up right now, put a comment, down below here. And let us know. That'd be cool. Also brought to you by our super mega friends at Bento, the refreshingly compliant email sending platform. It covers all your product and marketing email needs. And then I see here that they're doing transactional emails now, which is, I didn't even know they did transactional emails. They do support stuff. They do all kinds of stuff. I don't understand how they even do it. But anyway, Bento, check them out at bentonow.com. And look them up for all your email marketing needs. And thanks to Bento for sponsoring. Thanks to Nightwatch for sponsoring the show.
Here's just before we move on to the next one, here's a pitch to you would-be sponsors of why you need to do longitudinal sponsoring. Because I've been saying every other week when it's my turn to read the Bento sponsor, I say marketing and transactional emails, and Ian just said, I didn't know they do transactional. So here's my pitch for why you got to keep saying the pitch. Because true. Ian didn't even hear it. He didn't even hear it.
I'm on the show.
He's on the show. He didn't even hear it. Oh,
it is newish, though. They haven't always done transactional emails, have they?
They've done it for a long time.
Really? Yeah. I don't know what's going on. Interesting.
Yeah.
They do it all over there.
They do it all.
Is there a couple devs? Is there just him? I can't get a sense of how big it is.
I think it is primarily him, and then he leans heavily on contractors to like specialists to come in and help him with things.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's got a customer support person that mans, or woman's, because she's a woman. She tends the Discord while he is asleep because he lives in Japan, which doesn't mean he sleeps a lot. It just means the hours are different. So she tends the Discord while he's offline. And I think it's just the two of them in terms of full time, but he does hire a lot of people to come in and help him do things.
What do you think about this? I've been dealing with a little bit with Arvid at Podscan there. And he's just always on. He's got the live chat thing, and I assume it just pings him if he's not sitting there. But he always answers, like, instantly, right? I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you think about that? Like, I feel like I can't be on all the time. Like
I can't be on. I don't want that. I get an email and I'm like, oh God, there goes my day. I can't. I don't know. I have some sort of flaw where if I get that kind of stuff, it just weighs on me, and then I'm useless. So no, my ideal is like I am offline in my study for most of the day, and then I pop up and see what the world needs.
Which at least you've built that, you're building that type of business where it's not necessarily a lot of urgent support for your course. It's all stuff that can usually wait some amount of time before you need to do a refund or whatever, fix somebody's video not loading or whatever the case is. I don't know. I appreciate it. So thank you, Arvid, for the amazing support. But it is hard. I don't know. It's like to be on all the time is tricky, which, beneficial to building the business for sure. But I'm like, man, that's hard to do.
Yeah, I mean, it works. Like you're talking about Arvid. We're always talking about Jesse and the support at Bento. It's like, it works. Do I want to do it? No way.
Yeah.
Do I want to do I want to do it in Discord over my dead body? I would rather, I don't know what farming's like, but I would rather go farm than spend all day in Discord.
Do they do all their stuff in Discord, or they have
all
other
of it
channels? Okay.
All of it. The only other channel they have is I DM Jesse on Twitter because I refuse to go to Discord. But I think actually Kelsey is in the Discord and she'll ask for help in Discord. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, I'm just 1,000 years old. I can't do it.
Is it all public Discord, or is it
it's a lot of and I think that's part of the appeal of it, is a lot of public. And so you see a lot of like other professionals who are trying to like optimize open rates or do something clever with flows, and you're watching it flow by. It's kind of it's like a form of inspiration to see what other people are doing. But you can also DM support on there.
Well, it also builds up this community of people who can answer questions even when they're not available and all that. I don't know. It's sort of interesting. I feel like this could be something I try with Outro, because I feel like it's that kind of world. I don't know if it's Discord or something. I mean, Discord probably makes the most sense, or Slack, one of those two.
Slack, gotta do Slack.
I don't know. In the podcast world, do you think there's more people with Slack than Discord?
Oh, I mean, what do we think?
You know what I mean? It's close.
The average age of a podcaster, does it skew older or younger?
I think I saw the stat, but I can't remember now. It's got to be in the 40s, right? I would think on
Slack
average.
It is
a little younger.
I would say Slack then. Yep.
Something like that, though, where like, I mean, obviously there's to be a way to mail in and stuff, but I think it's kind of interesting to like build, especially in like a prosumery kind of app where you have like, maybe you can build more of just a bit of a community in there. Like, I don't think with a B2B, it makes a ton of sense. But with this, it's a little different. So I don't know. Maybe something I consider, possibly.
Just don't tie yourself to chat support. Personally,
no, definitely. I can't. That's the thing. That is the thing. It would be tempting to then be me being in there all the time, or somebody from Userscape, which I don't really want either. So, in terms of, I don't know. Let's think about that. I mean, I do have employees, so it's a little bit different. But even then, definitely not the like we're available 24 hours. Like we're not staffed for that. So, it's interesting.
I think there's some part of live chat that lowers the activation energy for people asking questions, which in some cases is bad.
Yes, I agree.
Like, because they'll just pop in and be like, hey, how do I do it? And you're like, you click the button. You're like, oh, thanks, I didn't see it. Like, okay. Would you have written an email to do that? Probably not.
You would have taken 3 minutes to look around and figure out that you could do it. But on the flip side, on the marketing side, sometimes that kind of thing pays off. It's like, I don't have to think. They just answer my questions.
I know.
It's, it's cool how that happens. And then it's like remarkable. And like we are talking about it right now.
We're marking it. You're getting a 10-minute segment. Yeah,
exactly. So there's something there, but I definitely don't want to be, I am on duty doing support 24 hours a day, getting notifications and stuff. So that's definitely not happening. So yeah, I don't know. I'd have to see how that worked out, but probably depends a little bit how it goes too. Like if I started it and we get people in there and it's like people hanging out, and then it evolves into more of a support thing, could potentially be interesting. I don't know.
Just don't do anything you can't undo later. Which you could close down a community. People would be maybe net negative on that, but yeah. We have another segment about what's coming up at Laracon in terms of somebody did something incredibly awesome. But before we do that, I want to hear what's the outro? What's the latest?
Okay, outro update. Good. We need to talk about this. So this weekend, I need your advice.
I love good advice. Yeah, I love it.
All right, so there's a lot of date stuff, more than I want. And I thought about getting rid of some of it, but whatever, it's there. So it's all built out. It's built. And it's like you can have a recording date for an episode and the expected published date, and then the actual published date was just stored from the RSS feed, whatever. I didn't actually build that yet, but that's what will happen. But there's like the scheduled email to do things. There's probably going to be like scheduled member posts, which I didn't build yet. So you got some of these things, you got a variety of different date and time structures. And so I had a problem with the Flux date picker, which turned out to be fine. It was on my end, as I figured. It was rendering weird because I had a JavaScript thing causing a problem, whatever, fine. But the Flux date picker only returns year, month, day. Like it's not returning the JavaScript, the end of like the client's time zone or anything. Like it's just here's the date they selected. So it's got me like waffling because should I just be storing? Should I simplify and just store year, month, day? We don't care about time zone, don't care about time asterisk for that for a second, but let's just say don't care about time. And for some of these dates that I think definitely works because presumably people are pretty much in the same time zone for the most part, or at least similar. It's more like days. It's less about the time. Like I wasn't even showing time. Like recording right now, recording date, it's just a date. It only shows date. It's like, we know our next episode we're recording, whatever, a week from now, right? And it's not the time. It's not that. Because it's like you're the hosts. You know when to go. It's not like the time's changing that much, whatever. But if I don't even have the option of time, I can never really add time, which seems possibly bad. But on the flip side, like dealing with time zones freaking sucks. And like I've already hit there's weird stuff, and like the Flux thing doesn't have the time zone, so I'm gonna have to add the time zone, which is not a huge deal, but then you get it, you have to convert it, all the stuff, right? Because you want to store it in UTC, blah, 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 blah. And then for a few things I need time, like the scheduling emails, you probably need time.
Gotta have it.
Right. So could I do some stuff though where I just like deal with it on the client side and I just send it over? Or even if I send it to the server, like I don't necessarily store the idea. Like right now, there's the idea of like this show, dates in this show are in this time zone, and you select the time zone, and it's like doing stuff. Do we not do that? I could possibly get rid of that and just deal with everything, convert it as it comes through into UTC and save it. I feel like there's some spot where that didn't totally work out for some reason, but it should work out, I think. I don't know. What do you know about this storing dates and times, and what do you think about this?
I think a lot about it. I think my ground truth, the thing that I think is incredibly important is that the dates, or rather the date times, dates exist outside of time zones to me. I think if you're storing a date with a time, then it needs to be stored in UTC. In the database. That is my opinion. Then when it comes out of the database, you can transform it or adjust it to the viewer's time zone. I think the idea of a show time zone is okay, but not great because we're in different time zones, right?
Yeah.
So if you put that the show starts at 10, that is true for the show because the show exists on the East Coast. Lamentably.
The one true time.
Yeah.
Maybe every time it should only be East Coast time. That's what I think we should do. The one true time zone. Everybody acknowledges it. It's the one true time zone.
Ridiculous.
Maybe we should do that. But anyway.
But then I look at it and it says 10 a.m. 10 a.m. show time zone. And I'm like, oh shoot, I got to convert that to Aaron time zone. So I think the source of truth is always UTC, in my opinion. And then the display is the user's time zone, which is stored on the user record. So the user has, and I think another thing is
zone. Yeah, we can
always use named time zone instead of UTC offsets because named time zones cover a multitude of sins, most notably daylight saving time, not savings, saving time. And if you put America/Chicago in the database, then you can, when it comes back out, probably in like a app service provider or something for that user, you would set the default time zone somewhere to America/Chicago, and then you can convert it. And same with it coming in. I think sending from the front end, you basically try to ignore time zones completely. And you say, like, so if I'm scheduling the email to go out, a little help text says, all times are in America/Chicago, or if you want to give it a nicer name, Central Time Zone, because that is my time zone. And then coming from the front end, you basically truncate any time zone information. So like if I send from the browser Friday at 11 a.m. and JavaScript appends that time zone of where my current client is. So let's say I'm in Denver. Who knows what Denver's time zone is? Impossible to say. But if I'm in Denver at Laracon and my browser says like, oh, he's in maybe mountain time because there are mountains there. If my user time zone is still set to America/Chicago, I think that's the one that you should go by. And I think the UI needs to say time set are America/Chicago. I think this is what cal.com does. I think if you want to get super sophisticated, you would bump it up one level and detect the client time zone and put that in like the help text. So it says like basically, oh, I see you're in Denver. All times are set to, America/whatever, Denver, mountain, whatever. But I like the idea of I am a central time zone person. And so no matter where I am, it's going to be central time zone unless I go into my profile and change it to mountain or east or whatever. You don't like it?
So no, I do. There's all the weird complexities though. So I like the idea of, I think, of per user, which is definitely a problem. Like HubSpot doesn't have this concept, and it's like been a forever nightmare of a thing, which is why I was trying to actually avoid storing the concept at all.
Yeah.
But you kind of can't avoid it. It's a little, I really wanted to just have JavaScript show the dates. Like it just feeds down UTC and JavaScript shows it wherever you are, whatever, that's fine. And then convert it back. But there are other weird things like Flux only accepts, like it doesn't know, you can't set it on the JavaScript end, I believe. So like it doesn't work for that. I have to set it on the server end. So I would have to know your time zone on the server, which I guess I could save in like a session from the browser or whatever, if I want to do just wherever you happen to be. Now, the thing with user time zones is that how do you get that initially? Do we just like do some trickery of like the first time the person logs in, we detect what the browser is and then do it that way, I guess, right?
Sure. Yeah.
If they were like invited or whatever, then they come in, we see they don't have it, we grab it from the browser, blah, blah, blah. Then they could just override it, obviously.
Yep. Yeah, I think on your sign up form or, whatever. I mean, even when they first load the page, you can just post, client time and then sort in the session. And then when they sign in, you can say, okay, well, their client time offset is 5 hours. That's probably this one. I don't know if you can get named time zones from the front end.
If you can.
So you might have to map them.
Which
is fine. I mean, you loop through, I don't know, 30 time zones and see which one has the exact offset. That way you don't have to like go back and update for daylight saving time yourself. You just say, I got 9:59 a.m. from the client. Which named time zone is currently 9:59 a.m.? All right, well, that's the one you have until you change it.
I feel like it might even be possible in modern browsers to get the named time zone.
Maybe.
I feel like I might have seen something about that, but maybe
that'd be
it
awesome.
wasn't. But all right, so don't go the simple path. Go the now. Okay, so then here's another problem. Then should I just abandon the whole thing of front-end JavaScript? Because the front-end JavaScript dates have their own little quirks, which is like
they do.
You're waiting for things to render, especially in this like live wire or any reactive kind of environment. It's like, well, the DOM change, okay, like re-render the dates, blah, blah, all that stuff. And so that's how it's wired up right now. But I don't really, and it does like sometimes have a flash slightly or like things like that. I think I have it dialed in where it doesn't really flash too badly, but it's got its own quirks. So now if I have everybody's time zone and I'm rendering dates in the server, a bunch of other places, should it just always be server rendered dates and get out of the JavaScript time game?
I think so. I would never convert a date on the front end.
Okay.
I think
You're not
that
a believer. You're old
is.
school. I love how you're old school.
I'm
This is
so old
good.
school.
You are.
Yeah, I just don't believe that the to locale string or whatever the JavaScript function is,
Yeah.
I just don't believe it's good enough.
Mm.
And it is quirky. Like it does,
Yeah.
at some points it does automatic conversion. At some points, it's just I've never. This could be outdated. This could be totally outdated
Mm.
advice. But I think what I would do is probably try to completely ignore time zones on the front end, which is to
Right.
say, like, potentially pretend like it's all UTC on the front end. So, like, if I pull out of the database, I pull 12 a.m. UTC,
Mm-hmm.
which is going to be like, I don't know which direction, maybe 6 p.m. Central, something like that.
Right,
6 hours off. So then I send 6 p.m. to the front end. The front end doesn't need to know, care, understand what time zone that's in. I can even lie to it and say 6 p.m. UTC, sure, whatever.
Right.
And then the user changes it to 7 p.m. and then JavaScript sends it back to the back end. And I know because the user sent it that's 7 p.m. Central.
Right. We're going to
So I'm going to disregard whatever JavaScript said, the T plus 000. I'm going to say, actually, this user's in T minus 6. So that's the way that I would do it. But I don't know if that is, I don't know if that's a 1995 way to do it or not.
I think that seems reasonable, especially for like this use. I mean, if you have like a time centric, it's not like a time centric application, but there is like times involved occasionally. Right. And so it's like, I think I like the idea then of totally standardized. I guess it gets so complicated when you're on the server and the client, and you're like, I'm trying to do some stuff on the client, some stuff on the server, and the time zones involved, and you're converting stuff. So it's like, all right, if we just centralize that on the server, that at least clears that part up. And it's like, okay, everything's server based, always converting time zones. If we're getting a date time thing in from the front, then we know to convert it from the user's time zone, which we have stored in the database, and blah, blah, blah. Like it's all. It could be one logical flow as opposed to being like, what? But this part's here, and we set the front end to do this other thing, all that stuff.
Single rule. That's what I want. Yeah. And so the rule, which is a 3-parter, which is not 3 rules, it's 1 rule, people.
1 rule.
The rule is UTC in the database.
Yeah.
Convert to user time zone to send to the front end, and then everything from the front end you treat as if it is the user's time zone, regardless of what JavaScript says it is.
Right.
And you never do any conversion on the front.
Right. I think I would never even I would never even know the user's time zone other than when they first sign up and I grab it so that like I can set the server side time zone. But then after that, it would never even be being sent, at least especially Flux doesn't even send it with the date, so we wouldn't have it.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
it's just like the date string.
I feel like most date time strings, I thought they serialized to the date, the letter T with the time, and then the plus with the time zone offset.
Well, this is what I was kind of thinking Flux did that, but it doesn't. It's just year, month, date string. That's it. Like a MySQL date column. That's what it gives you back. Now, they also don't have time yet, which I've asked Caleb for time. So once they have time, maybe it'll be one thing. I don't know. But it's not a huge deal. I mean, obviously you can just have like the date picker and time picker thing, whatever, and you just treat those as numbers, and then you can assume they are in the user's time zone.
Totally.
And then do it that way. So I think that's the key unlock. Basically, if it's in the user's time zone, if we have the user's time zone on the server, then we just go about it that way. And I think that makes sense.
And for the listener, if you ever want to provide future flexibility, you can add a time zone picker on the front end. So you can say like, I'm in America, Chicago. This is where I exist. For some reason, I'm scheduling this at 2 p.m. Eastern. Maybe a guest is like, I can do 2 p.m. Eastern. And I'm like, sure, whatever. And I just do 2 p.m. Eastern time zone. And then I send a named time zone to the back end. That's fine to overwrite the user's stored time zone with explicit information from the front end. But what I don't ever want to do is like take the JavaScript date object and convert it to a different time zone. I just feel like it's too wonky. Like that's the client. I'm not in control of the client.
Yeah.
The client could. Yeah, it's just the client's crazy. I want to do it on the server. The server's mine.
This is fascinating because I was like, I should do it more JavaScripty. This is what the kids are doing.
You're talking to the wrong guy.
But it's no, just do it on the server where everything's nice and controllable, and you know what's happening, and you can understand point A to point B without any magic.
Clean lines of demarcation. Yes.
Interesting. Okay, well then I guess that's it. And it's like, yeah. I think that's right. And especially for this app, again, if you're like a scheduling app or something, maybe there's like, it's a different like use case or whatever, right? But like this is a little different. Now, if we went, this is probably not gonna be in version 1.0, but we do the guest scheduling, it'll be a little different thing maybe there for that segment of the app, but maybe not. I don't know, maybe not. And that's one of the nice things about Livewire is it's like so tied to the back end directly that like you can kind of still do everything from the back end and you're just like refreshing the front end. So maybe not.
There's an interesting caveat. This I don't think. Well, actually, this might apply to you. There's an interesting caveat of where some of this time zone stuff doesn't work super well, and that is recurring events. So like, let's imagine every Monday we record at 9 a.m. Central, and you somehow store that in the database, and then daylight saving time happens and our meeting gets moved to 8 a.m. Central, which is wrong.
Right.
Like you want that time to exist outside of daylight saving time shifts, right? And so that one is wrong.
That
and
does apply.
I think that's called like wall clock time. Basically, you want to store what does the clock on the wall say, and it says 9 a.m. every Monday morning, and we do not adjust that for daylight saving. And that's an interesting case where I think the best thing to do there is store basically like the date and time as separate columns or something like that, because they are kind of discrete entities at that point. And time as a single column that exists outside of time zones. It's just a wall clock time. So it gets, especially in your case where you have recurring events, it gets wonky pretty quickly. But that is another one that you would have to think of.
Yeah, see, that's interesting because especially for the recording date, because so right now it just shows the date, but it probably should show the time because it is generally standard for most shows. I think that's not always true though, but and it has a thing where like, but it's gonna basically guess because it doesn't know for sure of like that you say you're a weekly show, right? And if your weekly show is just every 7 days from the last date you recorded or whatever, it guesses the next one. You could of course manually do it or override it or whatever. But there are like other frequencies. It's like daily, weekdays, weekends, every other week, whatever. There's like a handful. I mean, can't catch them all, but whatever. I have a handful in there of like common ones. But yeah, that's the thing is if you change it, I think right now it does go through the time zone logic, but it probably shouldn't, right? If I do a week from today, yeah, maybe that one would need to be. That's my other thing. I was like, do I even need any of these stupid times? Part of me is like, do I even need these times? And I'm like, I don't know. Totally need them, but there is sort of a logic to having them. It's like because they could all just be upcoming shows, but I think there has to be some kind of order because, like, especially if you're planning them farther out. Again, like I'm thinking about this more as like a more sophisticated show that's like weeks out, months out, even where we're planning things. At least it's capable of handling that. You don't have to use it that way, but it can do that. And so there, I feel like you need dates or something, but even that, it's so far out, maybe you don't need it. Maybe it's too far out. I don't know. Do you just order them manually? You don't have dates? I don't know. I
don't know. That's your job. You're the product person. That's your job. You get to figure that out. I
don't know. That the dates are going to be annoying if they're not accurate. So that's the part I guess I'm worried about too, is like for us, it should be easy to make them perfectly accurate because we just record the same time, the same day always, which I do think is a lot of podcasts, but it's not every podcast.
Yeah.
And so if you don't have that, now it's showing you the wrong date, but I'm doing it a day earlier because sometimes it's variable. Like I do a sports podcast and there's something happening. So I got like the Super Bowls this week and it's not in my regular schedule, right? This is just a random episode. So no, you could have just add an episode randomly and that's fine, but I could see it being annoying having the date for certain types of podcasts where it's not really about the date and it's just a little more flexible.
Because every little thing that's wrong, you start to not lose confidence, but it becomes an untended garden, right? So you're like, oh, this date isn't right. Oh, this to-do isn't done. Oh, whatever.
Yes.
It's like, well, I should get a new project management app. And you're like, no, just adhere to the one you set up.
Yes, exactly. So I don't know. I think I already have in there, like I forget what I called it, but like there is no schedule. And then like there is no dates. So I guess like something that's really random could just use that is my thinking. And then there is no date. Like it'll store the published date when it comes to the RSS feed, but it's not going to do the recording date and all that stuff. Yeah, I don't know. It's so funny how like every little thing in your app actually has like 20 edge cases. This is why the
Oh,
AI
yeah.
is not replacing us.
Never.
There's so
Never.
much shit to think about of
Never.
every little decision. And it is nowhere near helping you with any of that. Like,
no, the only thing it's doing right now is deleting production databases, apparently. Like, come on, guys. Yeah, I know.
Anyway,
yeah,
all right.
it's very helpful. It's not the only thing it's doing. It's very helpful, but it's not. I think we're a long way off from it replacing humans.
Your product.
Yeah.
Planning. Yeah. Okay. Well, that was super useful. Thank you, sir.
Great.
This is great. This
I
is what
love giving opinions. I love giving
this.
opinions. This is the best. I see why people start podcasts. That's all it is. It's just giving opinions. I'm never going to get blowback from this. When you have to untangle this in 4 months, I'm sleeping at home and sound in my bed. That's not my problem.
I think you have a few hot takes this episode, actually, that the people might be in the comments for, but we'll see. It's going to be fun. Yeah. All right, so we got one final little bit here.
We got a big little bit.
Yeah,
this is great. All right, give us the rundown.
So, friend of the show, Drew Clements. Is that? I just have Drew. I always think of Drew.
Best friend of the show, Drew something.
Drew something. He built a game for the show for the party. So if you're going to the party,
permissionless action. We love it.
Did stuff right on his own and built this game. Now turned it into like a game platform, which is like a whole separate thing, which is going to be cool. If you're building this, why not make it something other people can use? And so we had a little call with him this week, and we looked at the game. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a game that people play while they're at the party.
It's the best.
It's gonna be like a hot takes game. I don't know how much should we give out. Should we? I suppose talk about the game.
Yeah, let's tease him. Let's give it all. Let's give it out. Which I guess is the opposite of a tease. Let's tell him. Yeah, those mixed messages here. Back up, Dave. Edit that out. Let's tell him.
No, don't edit that out. This will be good because we need some help anyway. Which is
we do need some help. That is a good point.
It's gonna be a hot takes game, with the goal of the game being we're gonna put questions out there, a bunch of different questions about the show, related in one way or another, our takes on the show or other things. And then people are going to get to vote on Ian or Aaron, and you're going to get to click our big cutout heads and make your choice of who you agree with on a whole bunch of different questions. And so we need divisive questions, people. So
we need the questions.
If you have divisive questions that you think would be fun to get people talking at the party, to get people interacting, people giving their opinions to each other, right? All that kind of stuff. Post those in the comments, post them to us on social media. Ones where you agree with me, of course, are preferred, but if you agree with Aaron, that's fine. I don't know if those
exist, but here's some off the dome right here. Yes. Disney World is overrated.
No, geez, that's a real hot take. Holy
that's a hot
cow.
one.
You've been thinking about this.
It's okay, maybe advised, to wear shoes inside your house. See, these are great.
These are. Wow,
I'm gonna win them all.
We don't need
I'm going to win them all.
No, I'm going to crush we don't need anybody. Don't post your comments. Aaron's got it
covered. Post your questions. Let me give a pitch for the thesis of the game, which I think is so brilliant. So good job, Drew. The thesis of the game is passive gameplay, right? So there's going to be a lot of people at this party. It's a big party. Many people are saying the biggest one they've ever seen. And so it's going to be a big party, right? What I don't want, as the host or as an attendee, to do crowd management. I don't want to do that. I don't want to, people are having a nice time talking about PHP. Right. I don't want to say, ding, 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 hello, everyone. It's time to now play a game. And people are like, oh, I'm too cool for games. I'm a grown up. Like, okay, all right. I don't want to do that. I don't want to interrupt conversations. I do want people to have something to do, and we're not smoking cigars unless maybe we're handing out Marlboros. Like maybe we'll do it.
Maybe cigars. Maybe cigars. Cigars are still socially acceptable, I feel like.
They are.
Yeah.
That's very on brand for you too. So maybe we will. But having something to do that is passive, so you can walk around to the tables. There'll be these question cards on the table, and you'll pull out your phone, scan a QR code, and vote for Aaron, obviously. And then you can talk to your fellow partygoers about it, and you can argue with them. You can have a little mini show where you say, "No, Disneyland is totally overrated." Disney World, sorry,
Disney World.
But nobody's ever stopping and interrupting the flow of the party. Yeah. Nobody's ever like, "Hey, can you guys in the back quiet down? We're trying to do a game," and everyone's like, I don't want to play a game. Right. So this is the brilliance of the game: is that everyone can play. but you don't have to play.
Oh.
But even if you don't play, it can be great, like non-lame icebreakers where you're just standing around and you're like, oh, that's funny. I didn't read that one. Like, that's crazy, right? Ian's such an idiot, right? Yeah, Aaron's a genius. And then I have a cheap little projector that I will bring, and we'll throw up the live results on the wall. So as people are walking around and they're like, Aaron's not winning by a big enough margin. Obviously, he's winning, but not by a margin that is appropriate, that accurately represents the question. So let's go vote. Let's go vote for Aaron on some of these questions.
Yes.
And so the whole thing is like passive enjoyment, sparks conversation. It's just the best mechanic ever. So hats off to Drew on this one.
Yeah, Drew. Yeah, we did not come up with this. He came up with this.
Came out of nowhere.
He's part of the Zillow crew. So he's going to be, we weren't sure he's going to be there, but now he is going to be there. So definitely say hi to Drew if you see him. And yeah, I think it's going to be great. I think I love the idea of like being able to mingle with it and like maybe walk up to people you don't know and be like, so what do you think about Aaron's take on this or whatever? And not have to just jump into coming up with something just totally cold or just, what do you think about Laravel or more general things?
What's the deal with Laravel?
Yeah, what's the deal with Laravel, right? Like, no, this is like hot take stuff. People have their opinions. We can throw some code stuff in there. We'll have some obviously social stuff in there with Disney World and everything else. And it's going to be fun. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. I love when we do stuff I've never seen before, which is more often than you'd think. But we're doing another thing. I've never seen anything quite like this at a conference party before.
So he's making it a full on product, and so you can find it at hottakearena.com, which great. I love that. Hot Take Arena. That's
I love
great.
The arena idea. Yeah,
I know. Good. It's like we're gonna get in there and battle. It's so wonderful. And there are different modes of the game. Some that are more appropriate for different gatherings. So like there is like a live voting mode. And like I said, we don't want to do AV setups. We don't want to do crowd control. So we're not going to do that. But you can imagine at like a 50-person meetup or like a bar trivia or like a conference where everyone's seated in the audience and you're on stage with a microphone and a screen. You can imagine like throwing up a hot take and having people vote live and watch the bars bounce back and forth. And that's like super cool. And so he's built in a couple of different game modes, and we're taking advantage of the most passive version of the game mode, which is good for big crowds where you don't have a central stage.
Yeah, I think it's going to work out great. Just something in the background. People can check in on the scores and where things are at, which will be fun. So we're throwing a party, man.
We're throwing a party.
There's going to be 100, 200 people or whatever.
200 people there.
Listen to the show.
Yeah.
Weird.
That is weird. That is really weird. It's very, very weird. Yeah. And we have, unfortunately, more people on the waiting list than we can allow in. So here's a favor. If you know for some reason you're not coming, like if you've had to like cancel your trip or something, go on to Luma and say you're not coming, because that'll open up a spot for someone else to actually show up. So there's still a bunch of people on the waiting list, and we've already expanded. This is as big as it gets. Like we can't expand any larger. And it's going to be so fun. It's going to be so fun.
Maybe in future years, which I don't want to take this on now because we have stuff to like print, which we haven't even printed, and we're leaving soon. But you could even have, I think I've seen this at like some Apple events. They used to do this where like the people who couldn't get in, they're still on the wait list. Like you do something even for those people that's like, hey, here's some bars around town where like people are meeting up, or like, just like kind of throw something out there that like is
that's actually a
organizing point where people can be like, yeah, we're going to meet up in this location, in these couple locations or whatever. And people can have their own in a public space. Maybe we could do it.
We can just dictate that. We can, because here's why I think that's such a good idea. Is there are at least 50 people who want something to do that night.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, like the fire code dictates that that's just too many people for the party. But those 50 people are going to have to find each other.
Right.
From the diaspora, where we could just send an email that's like, hey, we're overbooked. Here is another bar. This could be a good meeting point for y'all.
Recommending that or whatever.
Yeah.
Do we want to try to get somebody who's like
a point person for that?
Yeah, like a point person. It's a lot to put on somebody though. I don't know.
If you are on the waiting list and want to be the point person,
do
leave us a note. and let us know, because you're about to be promoted to point person for the
you can just do
the
things
mostly
like
technical adjunct party.
the alt party of mostly
Yes.
technical. Yeah. Yeah, I think there would be. I mean, I can't imagine that 15 or 20 people probably wouldn't show up if
Yeah.
we put it out there that like this is a little gathering spot for people. Just everybody pay their own way. Whatever, it's just like
Yeah.
everybody get together and hang out. So yeah, let us know. That's a great idea. Let us know if you're out there and want to be just the person who's like, hey, I'm over here, person number one for other
Yep.
stragglers who show up, and kind of be there for that. So cool. I like it.
Great. Good job, Drew. Great
Good
job,
job, Drew.
Drew.
Thank you, Drew,
Coming
for
out
setting
of
this up.
nowhere.
Yeah, really fun. Man, party 1 week from today. We will be
1
partying.
week from today, I will have been in town for almost 12 hours at that point, which is a long time. Perfect arrival
24
time.
hours.
Perfect arrival.
24 hours.
Well, depending
Sunday
on the
night.
time. Yeah. So 1 week from this moment, about 12 hours. 1 week from party time,
yes.
about 24 hours, depending on your time zone.
Man,
so
you're going to be golfing, you're sweaty, some dinner
dude.
thing, you got to leave early. It's going to be a busy day for you.
Gonna have to put on sunscreen because I don't want to show up to the party all red, embarrassed, So
man, let me tell you, I feel overwhelmed just even having the party. I'm like, the party and then stuff all the other nights. I'm like, this is a lot. I can't even imagine that you're emceeing the event itself.
And I got to put on a 15-minute talk at the beginning, get the people inspired.
Young man's game.
It is a young man's game. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Do you have your talk ready? Are you ready with the talk?
I'm not ready.
Okay.
This is one of those things where I've been thinking about it for like 4 months, and now I need to sit down and write all the stuff out in the cohesive structure. And this is a great talk hack, which is literally start thinking about it as early as you possibly can.
Right.
You don't have to put a lot of pressure on like, I'm going to have my talk done 3 months ahead of time, but at least start thinking about it, because then when you're driving or you're taking a shower or you're going for a walk, ideas for the talk come into your head that wouldn't have come if you sat down. Like if I sat down today on Monday and was like, all right, I got to write it now, I would be incredibly overwhelmed if I hadn't already been passively backgrounding it for a long time. So
it's a
no, I have
job.
not. I have not written it, but I have probably 90% of it like kind of structured in my head with some, anecdotes and stories and jokes and stuff. And now I just got to write it.
Yeah, when you get it kind of going, you have the ideas queued up. It's just like organized. And it's only 15 minutes, you said, so it's not too crazy.
No, it's not bad. It's basically like, I think it's 20 minutes total, but a good portion of it's like welcome to the show, so I gotta give the lay of the land
included with that. Yeah.
Welcome, how we doing, how's your father, like, and then we'll move into a little bit of rah and then we'll transition to Nuno, and then I'm out of it.
You're gonna give us a hint on the topic or what? Or is it top secret?
No, it's not top secret. I mean, I think on the schedule it says you can just do things, but it's basically it's basically like, welcome to the show. Here. We're glad you're here. Let's get freaking pumped for this conference and the community and all the things that we know and love about each other, basically.
Yep.
So
that's cool.
Yeah, it's like everyone's welcome here. We're glad you're here. They're glad you're here. We're all happy to be here. Let's freaking go. That's going to be basically it.
Exciting stuff. Your camera. All of a sudden, your camera's possessed and it goes dark every 10 minutes.
That's unbelievable.
Gotta get a Sony, man. We gotta upgrade you.
No, I think what it is I put it on a new capture card. And I think the capture card is dying or sucks, one or the other.
Right. You can't ever touch your setup. Once the setup's working,
never touch the setup.
Never touch it. This is a universal rule. Just
never
leave
touch
it there.
The setup.
Dust is gone. Don't even dust. Just leave it alone. Don't touch it.
Oh, you need a second shot? Buy a new camera. Don't touch the main camera.
I mean, that's just automatic. I can't believe you did that. If you touched the camera for a second shot, don't do that.
I didn't. Okay. Don't worry. It's the second 2 cameras, actually 3 cameras.
You could turn your body sideways, second shot. Like you can just fake it.
That'll fool the people.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for joining. What I was actually talking about is like, oh yeah. Exactly. You'll never know that that's the same camera.
With some tricky editing, you can get it done. Get your movable backgrounds.
Boy, you know what? I'm really pushing the bounds of what an apartment can handle in terms of construction and building inside an apartment.
Rollable backgrounds.
I am just convinced that it's all going to come crashing down. Not the structure, just the setup. Like hey, brother, you can't you can't be building walls inside of our apartments.
We're on to you.
It's gonna happen at some point. I think the only reason I've skirted away from it is I have a giant sound blanket on this wall, and I have to imagine they think that's where the window is.
Ooh, interesting.
So they think I put up a big blackout curtain. Because they go into a million apartments. They don't remember, like,
I guess
each
usually
configuration.
Aren't they the same though, or similar? There's only usually like 3 or 4 configurations.
I know, but I just can't imagine they came and inspected it and were like, that wall wasn't there. Don't care, not my problem. I have to think they looked at that and said, oh, this apartment's near the end. I guess that's the windows on that wall. I don't know.
We see he's using that as an office. He's just blocking off the window with those thing. Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, you know what's gonna happen? You're gonna get the new manager. The new manager's gonna come in, take the lay of the land, and then they're gonna be like, no, dude. Like, I'm here. I'm new. I gotta
the hell is
earn
that
my
guy
keep.
Doing? Yeah.
You're in trouble.
I'll keep paying the rent on time and leaving at 6 o'clock and not making any noise when the actual citizens are home, and hopefully I can keep flying under the radar.
Are you ever that late or no? You always leave?
Back when I was recording some of those courses, I was here pretty late. And actually heard the neighbors, like, fighting, and I was like, oh, this is not great. Man, these walls aren't very thick. I guess I shouldn't run my compound miter saw in here when people are trying to sleep. But yeah, not terribly often. I aim to leave every day by 6:15 so I can do, bedtime with the kids.
Yeah, the neighbor's like, this guy just runs his TV all night. He's just in there talking.
Yeah, he's in there talking, and then he stops and says the F word and says, you gotta get better at this. And then he starts talking again normally. Like, what? That's weird. I don't know what this guy's up to. Yeah. Anyway.
Sounds good. Well, I guess we will see everybody next week. I don't know how we're going to do this. We're going to try to record a show. It might be late. I don't know. We're going to figure it out.
We're going to try to do one live from Laracon, but TBD on time zone of when that will be recorded.
Yeah, it almost certainly won't be out Tuesday, so it'll be it'll be some point.
Too much content happening Tuesday and Wednesday to go early and release on Tuesday. Are you crazy? No way. We got to catch all the Laracon content and bring it to the people.
Yeah, I don't know how we're going to do this. And you're emceeing. You're really messing up the whole thing. We got to get you off. Yeah, we need you. We got to get like somebody else to MC the back half of day 2, and we just sneak off,
Yeah, I'm sure Hank would be super thrilled with that. Hey, I know I said, but listen.
We could sneak out. We could do it in parts too, I was thinking. Like, we could maybe get together a couple times and do like 10 minutes
oh,
or something.
Clever.
Potentially. Yeah. I got these cool DJI little lapel things, so we can just
you did.
I'm excited to use a trinket. I love a trinket. So
I know you do. I in the chat said, I've got some mics I can bring, and then you chatted back and said, I just bought some mics. And I was like, okay, well, he wanted to buy some mics. Turns out those are the mics that I have, the DJI.
No way, you actually have the same one? I thought you were saying big mics. I didn't think you meant portable mics.
Yeah.
I really didn't think you meant portable ones.
Well, I know you love a gadget, so I didn't want to rain on your parade. So we'll both bring them. We can wear 4 or 5 mics. It'll be fun.
Got triplicate coverage. I got the new ones, though. Do you have the version 2 or the version 1?
Open question. I'm not sure.
The version 2, they got the recording and the bass unit thing, and they got better transmission, whatever. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, they got the better transmission, whatever. You probably, I don't have the better transmission.
Depending how long ago you got this. If it's a couple of years, you probably don't have the newest one.
Well, bring yours then.
I'll bring mine. Well, you bring yours. I'll bring mine. We'll have a bunch, but I will definitely have mine because they're a new trinket. I also had another idea I was going to use it for. I forget what it was, but I have a couple of use cases for this thing anyway. But because the following week I'm on vacation. But I was thinking I'm just going to record from vacation, and instead of removing this mic, if that thing is good enough, I'm hoping that's good enough that I can just use those, and that'll be perfect. But, all right, sir. We will talk to the people next week from Laracon.
All right. I'll see you in person in 1 week. 1 year after I saw you in person the last time.
Yeah, I've only seen you in person like twice or something. I think
so.
Right? Yeah. So we right before we started the show, and then no, I didn't know it wasn't 1 year because I didn't go to Laracon last year because I was sick. So it's been 2 years since you've seen me.
It's been 2 years.
We've seen each other
Nashville.
once. It's been 2 years.
We've seen each other one time, and it was in Nashville. Yep.
You can just do things with people you know from the internet. It's fine.
That's right.
All right. Later, all. Oh, if you want to sponsor the show, mostlytechnical.com. Click the link for sponsors. Follow us, all the social media stuff, whatever. And all the old shows, if you're new to the show, all the old shows are at mostlytechnical.com as well. You can email us at mostlytechnicalpod@gmail.com. And we will talk to you next week from Laracon. Later.
Yep.